I wrote a song back
100 years ago.
20 years ago now.
No, I
Nick.
said
No, it wouldn't be 20, it'd be
5,
10 or 15.
No, it
Oh,
was
it's been longer than that because Angus has been playing it longer than that.
That was
All right,
1990.
just carry on.
1990, I think.
You're down this point.
No.
It's almost 30 years.
That's
You
baloney.
definitely did.
That's
20
baloney. It was
years.
definitely
Okay.
after I was done.
I
with
remember when you wrote it.
debate,
And I was born in
family feud.
Okay, right now. No,
Wrong.
this happened back in
Wrong.
1990. Yeah, right. Okay,
I'm the
that's right.
subject of the story, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm changing the story already.
That helps us a lot.
I'm gonna have to explain the song because it's some people know it. I used to go to a veterans party on Remembrance Day. I was asked by a guy named Mickey. It's called Mickey's Song, and he came to a party one night. Neighbors of ours. They were old people. They were celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary. Oh, jeez. And I took my guitar and he asked me then to come down a few days later to a veterans party at his home. Because the veterans could no longer drive while they were drunk. I think that was the reason, really. But anyhow, and I continued to go there for 15 or more years. And anyhow, so this party was at Bob Quinn's down the road. And then we went down to his party, down to his home. And I'd never been there before, and we went in, left the guitar out in the porch because I didn't know who was going to be in there and what was going on. And he invited us in, then he asked me after a while to bring in my guitar. And when I brought in my guitar, I could see that some people were having drinks, so I took a pint in my guitar case and took it over to the sink to get some water to put in the rye, and he came over right after me. He said, no, you can't drink that here. And I go, oh, Jesus, what did they do? And he said, well, look at this, he said. And behind the sink was lined up 6 or 8 quarts of, I forget what kind of rye it was. So he said, look at this, he said, I've been saving this up since last summer, and if I don't drink it tonight, it's going to have to go down the sink. So that explains the first part of it, which wasn't true at all. But I didn't know the man. It was one night in early November at a party at Johnny Bob Quinn's. Mickey said, old soldiers will soon have a Kaylee coming down, you're welcome in. When we opened the door to his kitchen, said, come in and poured me a drink. The glass 5 fingers high filled 4 fingers with rye. A tad of water, and he said with a wink, I've been saving this up since last summer. I'm afraid that it soon will go bad. And what we don't drink will be poured down the sink. Quick, get it into your life. Now Mickey was king of the castle. Marguerite blessed us all with her smile. There was family and good friends and neighbors. They made room for us all for a while. They were old soldiers, veterans of battle, and their wives so proud of their men. There were guitars and fiddles, lots of tea and good fiddles, songs of laughter and shouts in the din. And I've been saving this hut since last summer. I'm afraid that it soon will go bad. And then what we don't drink will be poured down the sink. Quick, get it into your life. The fiddles drowned out the good music, the jigs and the reels and the song. Then someone would lead the old favorites in the chorus, we'd all join along. Then Mickey from his seat in the rocker would ask, sure you know, would ask, sure you know, must know this one. And then songs that were quaint, some would peel down the paint, and old Barrick from his lips would roll on. I've been saving this up since last summer. I'm afraid that it soon will go bad. And then what we don't drink will be poured down the sink. Quick, get it into your mouth. And I guess I should explain that back at that time there was a lot of veterans and their wives there at the parties, and they were just wonderful folk. Sorry. They were real nice people, and gentlemen and ladies, and anyhow, when I wrote this, the year before, we always have a church service on Veterans Day in the morning, and the 2 years before, actually, the front pews were just full of veterans and their families, and then the year before, an awful lot of them were missing. And that year that I wrote the song, there was a lot of them missing, and Mickey's wife had died as well. And I was sitting around home thinking about this. Actually, I had been working in the woods by myself and thinking about it. And May and one of the girls was sitting at the kitchen table. We were having a three-way conversation, which was only a two-way conversation. So I went down in the back room, and in 15 minutes I came back and sang this song. Couldn't believe it. But anyhow, Mickey asked me about Lily Marlene. If I knew that song, I said I have it, but I can't play it offhand. So he said he'd heard it from an old German soldier. Near the end of the war, they'd been chasing the Germans across northern France, and they get into a little narrow valley. And the Germans were in ahead of them. They got over on the other side of the valley in the trees. And Mickey, who was with the light artillery, was on this side of the valley. And he said, we all knew the war was over. The peace hadn't been signed, so we had to keep shooting. And he said, I was just deathly afraid that I would catch a stray bullet. But anyhow, he said, we'd lob a few shells over at them. They'd lob a few shells back at us. This is light artillery. And they were missing each other. And then he said, one day in the afternoon when we stopped for tea. I said, you stopped for tea in a war? He said, yeah, it was a civilized war. Yeah. He said, we stopped for tea, and the big artillery from 10 miles back just wiped out that whole side of the valley. And he said, he'd been hearing this guy come up when they'd stopped for tea. He had, I don't know how many of you remember this. He said it must have been a cart with steel wheels, and he said it was grinding in the gravel on the road. And he said I could hear it ringing, and this guy would always be singing Lily Marlene or whistling, and he never learned the song till after that. And anyhow, he said he figured he was an old, broken down soldier who couldn't fight anymore. And they had him bringing up shells for the light artillery. And anyhow, he said, I was get stuck in the street. He said, I never heard that guy either. It was, like he'd lost a really close friend. Anyhow, when the party had lulled for a moment, Mickey said you know this refrain, and he puckered up way across the kitchen and whistled out Lily Marlene. He heard it from an old German soldier after tea when the guns had shut down, bringing shells in a cart to a war he didn't start. Now I fear that he's under the ground. Well, I've been back to many more parties, for the years the way they slip through, and many that reveled and missing, and mother has got away too. But I know when the party's all over and the songs, reels, and rye are all done, we all thank those who fought almost here and those not. God bless you, your laurels are won. I've been waiting for this since last summer, and sometimes I'm feeling quite sad. But then I just think, no, I went down